People in their homes and businesses install cameras for different reasons. Though many do it to boost security, sometimes cameras capture some strange occurrences. I once came across camera footage at work that documented lightning striking a tree. This happened in March of 2016 during the rainy season. On one Monday morning, I was to report to work a bit early that day to do some pending work before my boss arrived. Though chilly outdoors, I woke up early as planned and drove through the heavy rains. The roads were flooded and the thunderstorms were scary. When I got to work, I noticed that a large tree that was located in our parking lot had fallen. It had occupied our parking space, and I had to look for another spot to park my car. When our boss came in that day, he went through the security cameras to find out exactly what had happened. The camera had managed to capture lightning striking the tree. When I saw the footage, I could not believe it since it almost looked like a movie scene. I've been working in one office for more than 5 years now. Since I'm fairly social, there's no one in the building that I don't know. I spend most of the time when I'm not working on a project chatting with my colleagues. Since I sometimes have to work night shifts, I interact a lot with the security guard. During the night shift, the security guard goes around the building to confirm that everything is in order. When strange things started occurring in the building, he was the first one to notice. One day as I was working the night shift, I saw him go to a particular office multiple times and I asked him if everything was okay. He explained that he had to keep switching off the lights on the second floor offices more than once, since they kept turning on by themselves. I found this to be quite creepy and thought that he was lying at first. Then on a different night, the same security guard told us that the door of a particular office kept on flinging open and slamming shut fast. He also claimed that the office lights kept on turning on even after he switched them off. The second time he said this, I found it hard to believe. To prove that he was telling the truth, we all went to check the camera, which documented the whole thing. It was quite strange, and when I saw it, I feared doing night shifts since I was convinced that there was something demonic in the building. I have always had a thing for music, and I even learned how to play guitar. I started developing this passion thanks to my uncle who owned a guitar shop. During the holidays, I spent time in his home and even got to visit the store. It was a beautiful store that contained all kinds of musical instruments. Since the store was quite busy, my uncle had employed 2 other people to help him tend to the customers. It was on a particular summer day that things started changing. During my stay there, one of the employees told me that strange things were happening in the store. He said that sometimes he would find price tags on the floor every morning, even after the store was well organized the night before. I asked my uncle about it, but he didn't give me a straight answer and told me not to interact so much with the employees. Though I tried, I couldn't get it out of my mind. The employee who had told me this was not comfortable working there anymore. One day, as he was cleaning up the shop, he decided to check the cameras. He could not keep what he had seen to himself. Since we were so close, the guy showed me camera footage of the guitars in the store moving around at night. I also noticed that the price tags on the musical instruments were falling on the floor on their own. The employee was convinced that the store had ghosts based on what the cameras had revealed, and he quit. From that day, I stopped visiting my uncle during the school holidays. Being a famous person is not always as glamorous as it sounds or looks. Although the people in New York admire me for my musical talent, I sometimes get the wrong attention. Since I'm always in the spotlight, sometimes I wish I had the privacy that any other normal person would have. Though I love my fans, some of them occasionally get obsessed with me. I once had an intruder that traumatized me for a long time. He went as far as to finding out where I lived and started showing up at my house. Since I was happily married, I told my husband about the suspicions I had of being followed, and we decided to be more careful. We even installed security cameras around our house just in case of anything. One night, my husband ran downstairs to the kitchen for a glass of water and suddenly saw the figure of a person from the window. He went to check it out, but he didn't see anything. When he returned to the bedroom, I saw him check the security cameras and I started panicking. Since I was already awake at this point, I sat next to him and we went through the video footage, and what we saw left me terrified. The camera revealed a naked man wearing only one sock and a mask in our backyard. My husband grabbed the baseball bat and went outside. He urged me to stay inside and lock the door behind him. The man must have heard my husband approaching and took off. After this strange incident, we decided to share the video on social media to make the public aware of such freaks. Though we reported the intruder to the police, he was never caught. Do you believe in the existence of alien beings? While most people say that aliens are fiction, others tend to disagree. In August of 2017, some people from Dallas, Texas, claimed seeing small alien creatures roaming around. This happened outside of a private residence at night. Two bipedal creatures were seen strolling around. Though witnesses could not see any distinguishing features in the creatures, they suggested that they must have been extraterrestrials. To support their claims, they checked a Ring doorbell camera that had captured the alien creatures. They even went ahead to share the video footage on blogs to make people aware of the existence of aliens. Though I'm not a strong believer, when I saw the footage, I found it to be quite mischievous. The small creatures didn't look harmful, but they behaved as if they were searching for something. Most people who saw the footage assumed that the alien beings wanted to get a feel of life on Earth, even for just a few minutes. I always loved traveling to different places, and my job gave me the freedom to do that. On one of my trips to Mumbai, I decided to use the train instead of regular buses. This was an adventure for me since it was my first time on a train. Though the train felt a bit crowded, I was excited to be one of the passengers. This feeling lasted for a few minutes since something extraordinary happened. I saw a woman jump onto the tracks and could have been hit by the oncoming train. The person that was driving the oncoming train suddenly stopped the vehicle to avoid hitting the lady. However, she was nowhere to be seen. Both trains had to stop since this was a serious incident and people started looking for her. My trip was cut short and everyone on the train looked confused. The CCTV camera on the train station captured the woman lying flat as the oncoming train passed her. A different angle also shows the woman on the other side of the tracks. How she managed to pass the train without a scratch is still a mystery.